everyone. Hello, Mr. Pike. Hello, Anna. And hello to everyone else. It is February 4th. It is Wednesday. We always do, hi, Amanda. We always do our live streams on Wednesdays. Hi, Captain. So that's what we are doing today. I've been seeing some things that have also, if you see my light going up and down, it needs to be exorcised, the demons. I don't know what it's doing, and I'm too lazy to change it. So I've been seeing these things on TikTok and just all over my feed about Savannah Guthrie, who's a Today Show host. Something had happened to her mom. The first thing that irritates the shit out of me about stories like this is her name is Nancy Guthrie. I don't understand why we have to do this. It's so and so. You would never if I ever went missing, you wouldn't be so and so's mom. You wouldn't name one of my kids and then be their mom. Nancy Guthrie is her own person. You can say Nancy Guthrie is missing. And she also happens to be the mother of Savannah Guthrie. Do you need clicks that bad that you have to diminish who she fucking is and be oh, Savannah Guthrie's mom is missing? I don't know. It just irritated. I was laying in bed and I was like, guys, the fuck. Anyways, I don't know anything about this case. So I thought we could talk about it. We could discuss it together. Other than that, I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well. I have my tea. Today is a DC cup. I have a DC one and a Marvel one. Today is DC. Hi, Moody. Hello, everyone. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to read this. So this is a ransom note surface in Savannah Guthrie's mom's case. See, look it. They can't even, even if they said Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy Guthrie, dude. Anyways, new details are emerging in the investigation into the disappearance of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mom. Oh, she's still missing. This is today. This was live. Last updated at 1:48 p.m. Eastern. So it was I'm doing absolutely terrible. No, tell us. Go into the vault and tell us. Somebody said that she was found. TMZ and CBS affiliate Cold News, KOLD, have revealed that their newsrooms have received Nancy Guthrie's ransom notes. Okay, I'll open that in a new tab. Which are currently unverified as the FBI works with local Arizona law enforcement on the search. We don't know where she is. Investigators believe that Nancy Guthrie, who has limited mobility, was taken from her home outside Tucson, Arizona, after receiving a 911 call reporting she was missing Sunday, February 1st. See, and this is why I fucking hate TikTok as well. Because a lot of people are she's been found. She's been found. Why are you posting that? Why are you? The sheriff's office, yes, put it in the Discord so we can send you hugs. Or don't, and we'll just send you hugs anyways. Whatever you want to do. I don't want to pressure you into doing anything. The sheriff's office has asked the public to contact 520-351-4900 with any information. USA Today network reporters witnessed dried blood droplets on the Spanish tile entrance of Nancy Guthrie's Arizona home. Oh my God, that's horrific. Hi, Melly. I haven't even, this is the first that I'm looking into it. I saw it was coming across my TikTok feed, and I saw one post that said she was missing. And then I saw a bunch of people who were like, she's found. And I'm like, no, she's still missing. Sportscaster and former professional tennis player Mary Carrillo has been tapped to fill in for Savannah Guthrie to host the opening ceremony for the Milan Olympics, NBC announced Wednesday, February 4th. Carrillo, who will be... Okay, I don't care about that. NBC confirmed Tuesday, February 3rd, that Guthrie pulled out of the global sports spectacle as the Pima County Sheriff's Department continues to investigate on her mother's disappearance. Our hearts go out to Savannah and the entire Guthrie family. They continue to have our full support. We are fortunate to have a deep bench of talented commentators who will step in and fill these roles. This is her daughter Annie's house. and this is Nancy's house. I wish they would have put the mileage in between so we could understand how far that is. Hope they find the mom. What kind of evil steals a mom? I wonder, the first thing that my, the suspect is a family member. God. The first thing I go to when, especially someone's elderly, right? Like I think of some sort of, what's the word? I think of some sort of like, cognitive thing, like Alzheimer's or dementia, and maybe they had wandered off. Annie Guthrie's home is where, lived a short distance from their mother. Home is where the law enforcement vehicles were seen on Tuesday, February 3rd, about 4:15, with two people wearing suit jackets and a man wearing a gray T-shirt walking out of the home. A few moments later, a woman who had a county sheriff's badge clipped to her pants walked out. None responded to reporters' requests for comments. A private security guard parked outside the house said the family did not wish to be disturbed. Yeah. Maybe we just leave them. They're fucking scabs. It's the worst. Like, I get it. You have a job to do, and you those who get the most salacious headlines first wins. But like, these people are going through the worst moment. I wouldn't have it in me. Like, if I was going through the worst moment of my life and somebody pointed a camera in my face, you're getting funky punched. Like, I don't have the wherewithal to hold myself in. Get away from me. At a press conference on Tuesday, February 3rd, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said he would not hold another presser on the case until the morning of Thursday, February 5th, unless something breaks before then. We have a lot of work in front of us, he said. At that time, we have a job to do, and we have someone's life who is in jeopardy. They've also been streamed on the Facebook page. USA Today will also have a stream of the conference when it goes live on Thursday. Sheriff believes Nancy Guthrie is alive. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said investigators are holding out hope that Nancy Guthrie is alive. We have nothing else to go on but the belief that she is here, she's present, she's alive, and we want to save her. The sheriff previously said in a media briefing, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, we don't know much about the case or anything like that, but I'm interested in seeing if there's any sort of like ring footage. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that people like this, especially when you're related to some sort of celebrity, like wouldn't have cameras on their houses. I don't know. The sheriff previously said in a media briefing on Tuesday when asked if authorities are looking for someone who's still alive, he said, "We hope we are." Investigators have been receiving are critical to us, and we're sharing those with the FBI and others. 10:18 a.m. That's today. No suspect or person of interest in this case. The Pima County Sheriff's Department confirmed on Wednesday, February 4th, that is today, because I see people are saying the son-in-law. I have also seen that. But they're saying, as of 10:18 today, investigators have not identified a suspect or person of interest in the case and urge that the public not to spread information suggesting otherwise. So, detectives continue to speak with anyone who may have had contact with Mrs. Guthrie. The sheriff's department said in a statement, detectives are working closely with the Guthrie family. While we appreciate the public's concern, the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible and does not assist the investigation. So there's that. Oh. Reflecting on Savannah Guthrie's statement shared on Instagram Monday asking fans to pray for her, Today co-anchors shared that they were doing just that. Her faith leads us, and Nancy leads us as well. I just got goosebumps. And it's one thing we all have and we can do. It doesn't cost a thing. Craig Melvin said that many fans of the show from social media to on the street have shared that they were praying for the Guthrie family. And that's exactly what Savannah and the family needs to hear. My pastor used to have this saying years ago. It's easy to be faithful when things are going well in your life. You have to be faithful when you're at the top of the mountain. But the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. You know what? I have my own story with this. Hi, Shawnee. Carson Daly added, it's easy to be pessimistic and negative at a time like this, but I feel like you have the same option to still think about a positive outcome. Through our faith, let's get Nancy home. It just takes one phone call. Liz Kreutz, an NBC correspondent, said on Today that candlelight service will be held at a local Arizona church in honor of Nancy Guthrie on Wednesday. There is so much support for them here in the community. She has a close-knit bond with her mom, strengthened by unwavering faith that's carried their family through difficult times. God was the sixth member of our family. Unidentified blood seen at Guthrie's home. Oof. Good Lord. Blue shirt strewn across the rocks. I'm curious whose shirt that is. And what appears to be droplets of blood outside the front door here. Oh yeah, El Jacad, hi. No worries. Detail images from the home of Nancy Guthrie. This is the front view of the home. I mean, from what we can see, it doesn't look like anything's broken. They wouldn't tell us if it was forced entry or if it didn't look like it. Investigator's card and possible empty camera mount for the front door. Oh, for the Ring camera. Yeah. Interesting. Here's the rear view of the home. What a beautiful home. They saw dry droplets on the Spanish tile entrance. The sheriff's department would not confirm whose blood it was. Well, also, they probably don't know yet, or didn't know then. There was no yellow tape surrounding the home as authorities have turned the house over to the Guthrie family. There was also an Amazon package addressed to the 84-year-old on the front stoop. Interesting. I feel like that's really a short period of time to turn the house over and not put the search tape up. It is interesting because I feel like they may have an idea of what happened. I feel like if they didn't have an idea, this place would be secured. Yeah, this is Nancy Guthrie. At 9:35, police seen outside the home of Nancy Guthrie's daughter, so that would be Annie. Law enforcement has been seen parked outside Arizona home of Annie Guthrie, the sister of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Nancy has 3 children, including a son, Cameron, with late husband Charles Guthrie, who died in 1988. Wow. TBS and CBS Arizona affiliate both received Nancy Guthrie ransom notes. Oh, also, I just want to tell you, hi, Carl. I just want to tell you guys, if my computer shuts off, because for some reason it only likes to do this when I'm live, if it shuts off, do not fret. I will be back. It's just going to, for some reason, reboot itself right now instead of any other possible time. And then I'll go right back into the same stream. So if it ever just goes black, give me a second. According to CBS, Pima County Sheriff's Department investigators analyzed the letter and were taking it seriously and shared it with the FBI, whose agents decided to share it with the family. If this is not truly a ransom note and you're just a fucking asshole writing ransom notes to these people as a distraction, fuck you. Fuck you to the fuckiest fucketh of you. The report added that investigators wanted to keep the note private, and the Tucson station agreed not to broadcast any information about it. Good. It did contain specific details about the home and what Nancy Guthrie was wearing that night. Yeah, reboot sign. They are working on the power line in our block, so if we go dark, there's a... My God. Can I change what on my settings? Oh, that it does that? I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't understand. That's the thing, Melly. Like, I don't understand why people want to insert themselves so badly in things. Like, all right, hold on. Side note, okay, my sister's a teacher. And she calls me the other day. This is a complete side note. She calls me the other day and she says, an 8-year-old looked at me in the face today and said, there's 2 people I hate in this school, and you're one of them. And she goes, oh, yeah? Who's the other one? And she said, update on the kid that hates me. Quote, I hate you so much, I don't care to know your name. Yeah, I don't know if I can change that. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. But anyways. So, yeah. Yeah, so anyways, back to Melly. Listen, I talk shit on the internet. It's what I do, okay? I have no problem talking shit on the internet. If people want to talk shit to me on the internet, feel free to do so. Feel free to do that. Going real world with people and going real world with things like this is so fucking out of pocket. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It chaps my ass. Chaps it. TMZ was the first to report. It received an alleged letter demanding payment for the release of Nancy Guthrie. The tabloid kept details of the note vague, but reported it demanded millions in Bitcoin cryptocurrency and provided a specific Bitcoin address. TMZ said that it has verified the validity of the address. Cool. So was that before you guys handed this over to the FBI? Like, have we come to a place where just nobody can keep their fucking mouths shut for like 5 minutes? Ugh. There was a woman in Florida whose daughter disappeared. A police officer tormented. Ugh. I hate that. The outlet obtained the copy of the note and reported on it before contacting. Oh, I guess I should have just kept reading. This would have answered my question. Of course they did. Because why, for the safety of this elderly woman, why would TMZ ever keep their mouths shut? Let's get the clicks, ladies. Let's get the clicks, you fucking assholes. So this is obviously, she's gonna, get out of the coverage from the Olympics. John Edwards, the assistant special agent in charge of the FBI's office in Tucson, joined Nanos at Tuesday press conference and said the FBI is providing the sheriff's office with support in the case, including downloading and analyzing cell phones, obtaining cell tower information, conducting interviews, and providing additional investigative support. They do. They need it 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. Get a life. Touch grass. Seek therapy, you weird bitch. We are looking at this from every angle, but we need your help. Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one. Authorities believe that she was taken from her home against her will. I hate that. Speaking to reporters in a press conference on Tuesday afternoon, his office is aggressively pursuing hundreds of leads. We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at. So this is what you can look for if you're in that area. I don't know how to make this bigger. You know what? Maybe I can make, thank you about my hair. I love it too. Sort of. Part of me is like, I wish it was long again. And then I wish it was shorter. So she's 84, female, 5'5", 150 pounds, hair color brown, eye color blue. Um, wait. Look at this blue shirt and then look at the blue shirt. Is that like the same color blue? Right there. Huh. Oh. Nancy Guthrie's children left her off around 9:45 p.m. on Saturday, January 31st. The following morning, Sunday, February 1st, a member of Guthrie's church called her family to let them know that Guthrie was not in attendance at the service. Oh, so she's just like out on her own doing stuff. Okay. The family went to the house. They spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11 a.m. Abductions of elderly people are rare. Most of the time when elderly people disappear, it's because they went walking and fell into a ravine, or their car went off the road, or they fell somewhere remote and animals got to them. There could have been a kinder way to say that. But that's what I had thought when I was thinking about this. I'm like, oh, maybe she was just like, elderly and wandered off. But she was mobile enough to get to church and do things. Calling her abduction a big dramatic event, probably under cover of darkness. Did they walk there? Did they drive and park on the street? They had her targeted. As authorities confirmed at today's press conference, every moment that passes increases the victim's stress level, which increases cardiovascular risk. Add missing nutrition and hydration at her age, that's critical. Also, I'm curious to know, it shows her house, and where is it? It shows her house, and it shows here, and then it shows here. I'm curious about how many other houses are in between or around this area. Because when you look at this property, okay. But even here, right? Like when you look at this property, I feel like somebody could easily drive in the middle of the night and not be seen by anybody else in that area. Yeah, allegedly the ransom person is asking for Bitcoin, but that's according to TMZ. So fuck them. We don't know. I guess that's it from here. Everything we know about this. Oh, it's just a reiteration of what they said. Contains specific details about the home and what Nancy Guthrie was wearing that night. TMZ obtained a copy of the note and reported on it before contacting his office. Could not confirm whether Guthrie's disappearance was a random incident or targeted. We're all taking leads. All right. So this is, they just kind of tell the same thing. So if you see this woman, here are the 2 phone numbers you can call. The note, the outlet reported, demanded millions of Bitcoin cryptocurrency and provided a specific Bitcoin address. The letter also included a deadline and an element of or else. But that's according to TMZ. So, Wow. That's sad. Yeah, I hope she's okay too. That's really sad. Let me see if I can find anything else that's not. This is USA Today. But yeah, and it's interesting because Only was saying in here too that they were talking about the son-in-law. I saw that as well. I saw that people were talking about the son-in-law and I was like, oh, that's weird. It's been over 72 hours. When did she go missing? Yeah, if she has medications. Let's see. Nancy Guthrie. Oops. New York Post. NancyGuthrie.com. She has a .com. Is this her? Oh, no. This is not her. This is somebody else. Okay, hold on. Here's Reddit. I don't know. Do you guys want to go on Reddit? I don't know if I want to go on Reddit. I just hate going too early in a case because I don't want to contribute to like false narratives. Let me see what they have. Oh, Ashley Banfield. Okay. All right, let's watch hers.
Watch what salt does to your knees.
No!
Why does Grandpa yell?
Okay, I was just thinking about this today. By the way, I'm not afraid of Reddit. You're not afraid of anything. I'm afraid of everything. You and I are not the same. I would be in trouble if I went missing for more than 24 hours, and I'm nowhere near 84. She was last seen 9:45 p.m., and then I believe her pacemaker stopped, sending reports at like 2 a.m. On a side note, I was just thinking about this today. I can't watch any commercials anymore because I just assume they're all AI pieces of shit. If anybody cares. All right, let me go here.
Ow, ow, ow. Every time he bends.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield, and this is Drop Dead Serious. I have some breaking information on the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother in Tucson, Arizona. I have spoken with an impeccable law enforcement source who has informed me, with his knowledge of the investigation, of some extraordinarily serious pieces of information.
Just so you guys can see, I guess it's called 911. But just to put this out there, vulnerable adult, again, what she looks like, what she's wearing. And just call 911. But it's the Pima, P-I-M-A County Sheriff's Department.
Information about this crime scene. I can tell you that Mrs. Guthrie had cameras, plural, at this home, and that they were smashed. You may have heard Brian Enton from News Nation talking earlier and asking Sheriff Chris Nanos a question in the news conference. And again,
well, and we saw, yes, they said that this is possible for like a Ring camera. And if they were smashed, right, and this is somebody that does not know her, I mean, that would lead me to believe that they were casing this area.
Today, I'm recording on February the 3rd. It's a Tuesday. The press conference that was early in the day, Brian asked the sheriff, the camera on the front of the house is missing. And the sheriff said, we are trying to get into the companies that, are proprietors of this kind of cloud information to get that, and said by today, he did not have that information, did not have whatever was recorded. But I can tell you.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Because if you have like a Ring camera, right, and you destroy the camera, I mean, that information would still get uploaded to the cloud, right? Like, it doesn't matter if you destroy the physical camera. It's not like it personally has an SD card inside of it. It goes to a cloud. I mean, some of them have SD cards in them, but not all of them.
They are Nest cameras.
Oh.
They are Nest cameras, plural, and that whoever did this may have smashed those cameras, plural. So they're not there, presumably because law enforcement took those smashed cameras as evidence. I can also tell you I've got information about which door in the house was actually left open. There's been some erroneous reporting about some things. I now have the information about that. I can tell you about blood in the house. I can confirm. Brian Enton has some incredible reporting and pictures of blood outside the house. He's going to join me in a moment. We're going to talk about that. I can also tell you whose car has been towed into evidence. And I can tell you that there is a family member who is being heavily looked at right now as a potential suspect.
That's interesting. because only me said it in the chat. And then as of their whatever we just read from USA Today was like, there are no, hold on, let me go back to it. Here, this. No suspect. Right. Right. The son-in-law. But that was yesterday. This is 10:18 today. This is live. They're updating this live. The last update, 1:48 p.m. Eastern time. So this is today. And it says, while we appreciate the public's concern, the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible and does not assist the investigation. Investigators have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in the case and urge the public not to spread information suggesting otherwise. And that's what makes me so. What the fuck is this ad? Jesus Christ. You know, it's part of the what is going on. It's part of the reason I hate being on the internet. But Ellie hasn't said it officially. I think because the car being towed. Interesting. Well, also, too, it said that the Guthrie kids dropped her off last night. So if they were in his car, law enforcement, if they were all together, though, law enforcement might also want to tow his car. Like, think about it, okay? Me, you're my sister, right? And, God, my earrings hurt. And our brother drop off our mom, you know, and it's your car. The police are going to come and be like, give us the car, you know? So I don't think that, to me, that doesn't say anything. I mean, it's the last thing she was seen in or was confirmed to be in before she went home.
I'm going to bring that all to you in a moment. There's more information about Nancy's pacemaker. You probably have heard up until now that Nancy Guthrie had a pacemaker and it disconnected from her Apple devices, her Apple Watch, her Apple phone, which were left in the home.
What's interesting to me is they would leave all of this here and not have crime scene tape up. Which also makes me think that they may know, obviously, more. Yeah, I agree with you. The police are not obligated to show their hand. In this case, the suspected guy was dangerous to her, not others. Right. And you don't think they're watching the news? They got Savannah Guthrie's mom. But it's interesting to me that they would just have all of this out and know it's not a secured location. That's crazy to me. I mean, if they were in Massachusetts, this wouldn't be crazy to me. But
about 2:00 in the morning. And that is a significant time. And I will tell you why.
Also, the droplets tells me she was bleeding, actively bleeding.
It is extraordinarily instructive to this investigation in terms of narrowing to a window. I'll explain why.
Also, with that footage, if that's a reporter, dude, go away. Like, you're stepping on a crime scene, like there could be contamination. You would
in a moment. Don't think that the pacemaker stopped working because she died. That's not it. The separation of Bluetooth between the things that the pacemaker was linked to, the Apple Watch and the phone. When they get out of range, you take your AirPods, you walk out, you leave an air tag behind, you get a notice, you're disconnected. That's more what this is about, but the timing of it is specific to narrow down the investigative window. So I'm going to get into all the details of all of these little pieces of information that I told you,
yeah,
because
I have
I've just
no idea.
touched the tip of the iceberg, but I also want to get you up to speed on all the information that came out today.
Cases, yeah.
From a few different sources. Number one, from the sheriff himself, who held a news conference and answered questions. And then also from Brian Enton, because he got some great information. And as I mentioned, he's going to be up in just a moment with me. We're going to talk about all his findings. So John Edwards is the assistant special agent in charge of the FBI in Tucson. He joined Sheriff Chris Nanos for the news conference today. Again, it's February 3rd, Tuesday. They held this update, but they didn't give a lot of information. They just said, basically, this is to answer your questions in the press. And I can tell you that we found out this is not a gated community. Okay, that was one report that came out. It's not a gated community. It's also very dark and there are no streetlights. So very hard to see anything that might have been driving up and down those roads. The properties are huge, right? They're anywhere between 1 and 4 acres each. So more rural.
Yeah, we just looked at the house. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody just turned off their lights. I mean, they wouldn't be noticed driving up to the house. They're set back a little bit from the street. The houses are further from each other. Yeah.
Don't think city lit up.
I don't think they're going to tell us this. But, you know, I'm interested to know if there was any sort of forced entry. Because if there wasn't, you know, somebody coming to the house after 9:45 p.m. tells us a lot, I think.
Neighbor to neighbor sees everything. Your ring cam can see the street. It's not like that. Not everybody's ring cam can actually see the street from where they are on these big properties.
Especially if it's dark. There's no streetlights here, she said.
The sheriff today said Nancy Guthrie's life is in jeopardy. Could be a couple reasons he said that. Number one, medications were left behind in the home. Medications that she would need within 24 hours could be fatal. And it's now 72 hours since the last time she was seen.
Yeah.
So that could be why he said her life's in jeopardy. Or he could have said it because I now have definitive sourced information saying that there was, in fact, blood inside and outside the home. So blood inside the home is scary because we now know she was taken against her will. Kidnapped was what the sheriff told me last night when I did my episode before. So blood inside the home, kidnapped forcefully, taken forcefully. That could probably be part of the reason why her life is in jeopardy. And Brian Enton's going to show you the pictures of the blood outside the home that he discovered today as well. The media has helped generate a lot of leads, the sheriff said. That's really important. He said, if you've got any information, 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. If you know anything, even if it's tiny, the tiniest thing can lead to the biggest thing. The sheriff has said it's been helpful. They do not know what she was wearing when she was abducted, when she was kidnapped and taken from that home. They don't know if there were one or more kidnappers. Any indications she's still alive? Sheriff said, no idea. Can't tell you that. Is there a threat to the public? We were a little confused by the answer before. I think what he was trying to say was that we feel like this is an unusual circumstance. We don't think that this is going to be a serial kidnapping or whatever else has happened to Mrs. Guthrie, but there's someone out there that did this. So yeah, the threat is out there. He's not going to go as far as they did in Idaho early on and say there's no threat to the public, because Brian Koberger was out there for, over 6 weeks and he's a threat to the public. But it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like there was no threat. It didn't feel like there was a big threat. So take that the way you will. Were there any valuables taken, ATM cards? Sheriff would not say. Sheriff wouldn't say was there forced entry. I can tell you definitively there was absolutely forced entry.
Oh.
The pay-
That's scary, man. I don't know what's worse. Right? Like, I feel like if it was forced, or if it wasn't forced entry, that narrows down your suspects. And that also narrows down, like, where you think she could be. But with no forced entry, that's scary. Because if it's just some, like, random stranger, like Melly said, the more the time goes by, the worse it gets. I mean, the true thing is said for anybody. But if it's a stranger, like, that just broadens the scope so much. Yeah, it doesn't, none of this feels good. None of it feels good.
Pacemaker information. They didn't want to talk a lot about it. But
it's interesting. I don't know if this is a dumb question, but it's interesting to me that, like, pacemakers have Bluetooth, but no, like, location device in them. Especially for, like, older people. It's heartbreaking knowing that she may be alive but actively dying because she doesn't have her meds. Yeah, that's another great point. There's just like there's too many scenarios right now where this goes south. And yeah, you're just waiting.
But I will tell you, my reporting, my source says that the 2 a.m. separation, when the pacemaker stopped responding to the devices it was connected to, the Apple phone, the Apple Watch, that is the time they are narrowing down this kidnapping to. Yes, she was last seen at 9:45.
Yeah.
But the kidnapping, they are pegging it to that moment. Because that is when the pacemaker that's inside the girl, the woman, the elderly mother who was taken out of that house, it's separated. And so that is what they are now narrowing the disappearance time down to, according to my law enforcement source with knowledge of this investigation.
Yeah, that's interesting. So she would be dropped off at home at 9:45. And then 2, you get up, somebody's in your house, she's 84 years old. Yeah. I'm sorry, Shawnee. Ugh.
Pacemaker separates 2 a.m. That's when they believe the actual kidnapping happened. The house was turned back over to the family yesterday after 6 p.m. Again, that would be Monday, February 2nd. They processed everything. Crime scene tape went up, done with the residents, turned back over to the family. But no.
Could you clean up the fucking blood? Oh, no tire tracks in the gravel. That's a good point, too. Well, this might be later, though, when they're going through this. But that is an interesting point.
It's separated. And so that is what they are now narrowing the disappearance time down to, according to my law enforcement source with knowledge of this investigation. Pacemaker separates 2 a.m. That's when they believe the actual kidnapping happened.
See some here, I think. I mean,
the house was turned back over to the family yesterday after 6 p.m. Again, that would be Monday, February 2nd. They processed everything. Crime scene tape went up, done with the residents, turned back over to the family, but nobody washed the blood off the front steps up to the front door. And Brian Enton was able to go up and look at it because it's not a crime scene anymore.
I can't, like, I don't know. I feel like that's something that law enforcement should provide. Like, with the money that we spend on our taxes, if there's a bunch of blood because my house is a crime scene, like, could you clean it up before you fucking give it back to me? That's horrific. Like, imagine them walking into their mother's house and you're like, oh, there's fucking blood everywhere. Like, ugh. God.
Talk to Brian in a moment about that. I think I mentioned this before, but if I didn't,
I understand that they need B-roll. I do not need to see this footage over and over again to get the severity of this situation.
Are waiting for the camera information and very frustrated. The police are very frustrated by how long it's taking to get the Nest company. I learned that it is the Nest company. It's not Ring Cam. It's not Ring.com. It's Nest cameras that were out front that were smashed. They are waiting for the corporate Nest executives to yield that information back to the sheriffs. Listen, 72 hours. It's been a long time. I can understand why the sheriff would be frustrated that it's taking this long.
Yeah.
This was at, again, 1:30 today. It's about 7 hours ago. So that might have happened in the last 7 hours. Maybe the sheriff has that camera information now. And with those cameras being smashed, right? That's evidence. All of that is evidence, right? What was the tool used to smash them? What did it look like? All of that. And so when Brian Enton asked the sheriff.
Well, to me, the camera's smashed, right? Like, the timing. There's a level of preparedness that I feel from this. So, like, whatever, if it's somebody that she knows, somebody that she doesn't know, either way, to me, it, like, signals somebody has been watching this particular house, getting to know it, getting to know when people come, when people go, what her routine is, where the cameras are, and how to get in and get out.
The cameras are missing, and the sheriff wouldn't go there. Clearly, the police have taken those cameras, smashed as evidence, and those are now in evidence lockup as part.
I don't know if the front door has been left open. Or maybe just like the screen door was open, but I don't know if it's been left open.
Part of this investigation. But again, I can't reiterate enough how dark this area is. No streetlights, dark and rural. Whoever smashed those cameras could very well have been completely cloaked.
Yeah, and also too, like you have to think about it. Like it's seemingly like she's in the middle of the desert, right? Like if you've ever been camping and you're ever in like a completely isolated area, the dark you get there and the dark you get in like a neighborhood, two completely different things. I've been in Mississippi where it is so dark in the middle of those woods, you cannot see in front of your face. And you can only see like what your flashlight is on. It like just engulfs everything. Compensation program should definitely help pay. Yes. Back door was a point of entry. That would be a good clue. Yes. But I don't know why there would be blood in the front. Yeah, I mean, if the back door, I mean, unless they went out the front, if they had like a getaway car and they brought her out the front, you know?
And that may not help a lot. Maybe you'll see someone's gate. Maybe the exterior lights were off on the home. Who knows? Depends on what kind of nest.
And also, too, right, with cameras, obviously they can see better when there's a lot of light, whether it's street lights or car lights or, you know, whatever. If there's other houses that have light, like the better illuminated the area, the better the camera quality.
She has, does it show night vision? I mean, there's lots of different levels that you can get. Who knows what information that will yield? Whoever smashed those cameras,
I agree.
What will we see? What kind of, you know, right-handed, left-handed, walking up? What was the gait? Does it look like a man? Does it look like a woman? Hopefully that could have been ascertained before the cameras actually ended up being smashed. It's very, very disturbing because that is so completely planned, right? This isn't some random, you know, drug addict who's just looking to rob a house.
Which is super scary because then that, you know, you just know that house was watched. And that, I mean, that's another level to think about. Who the fuck is watching you, you know, while you're in your own home? Could it be the abductor's blood from an injury occurring during the abduction? That's interesting. Yeah. If maybe they broke glass to get in. I've done that. I remember I was pounding on, we had this door that had like 8 little square windows at the top of the door. And I was banging on it. And then I like turned my head to look somewhere and I went, psh, and it just like sliced up my arm. So, I mean, it could be them. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, the motive would be profit if those ransom notes are legit. I mean, if they just took her and wanted to do something to her, ugh.
This is something far more premeditated. If the cameras, plural, are smashed, whoever did this knew there was more than one.
Or there's more than one perpetrator, too. That's an option. Yeah, it seems there's somebody that's very familiar with the property.
I am going to have all of this for you in exquisite detail in just a minute. I do have to just tell you this. I have sponsors that make this every safe.
Nope.
For
You're sponsored. I'm not. Sorry.
Dropped in the case to give more the below is the investigation is not yielding enough money for the sheriff to feel as though he needed to give more regular updates because he said, I'm not giving another one for 2 days. Not until Thursday, February the 5th. Today's the Tuesday, the 3rd. Unless
and of course, today hers is Tuesday the 3rd. We're watching this on Wednesday the 4th. So
warranted, unless something happens. Something happened today when Brian Enton was standing right outside in front of Nancy Guthrie's house that was unique and interesting and may have been information tipped. I'll tell you that in a moment, and I'll show you the pictures from the sky. There was a chopper up ahead.
Now look at how separated these houses are. Yeah, it doesn't shock me. And okay, so and then too, also take a look. Here's the street, right? And it comes around here and it comes around here. All somebody would have to do is get like back through this area. And then they have a point of entry back through these homes without anybody being able to see any sort of light. They're all just kind of like, all these houses are kind of backed up to each other. Is known in the local region for being elderly, would be easily controlled and given her conditions. Oh yeah, put pressure on the family for a rapid response. But yeah, the way these houses are laid out, I mean, they had to have a car, right? It's not like they're taking her and walking her anywhere. I mean, she may not be decrepit, but she's 84 years old. Like, where is she going to get where is she going to get out of here without screaming or making noise that nobody hears at 2 a.m.? I think that the reason that the front door had blood around it, they had a car. I feel like I don't know if there's more than one person, but I also can't assume that somebody parked her car out front. I feel like there's two people, right? Like there's a getaway car and then there's somebody who goes in the house. Cameras on the other homes. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's cameras on the other homes. But if you go, right, like if you're in the dark of night in this area and you get back into one of these houses and you go out through the front, if you're able to like slide up the side of this, somebody had to know. Yeah, she's in a super rural area. Somebody had to know. Dogs heard at the time of the crime. Somebody knows this house. Like, in my opinion, I think somebody knows this area. Somebody knows this house.
So I'll tell you that in just a moment. But it was super fascinating that the sheriff wouldn't confirm blood evidence, but Brian Enton confirmed it outside, and I have confirmed it inside. There was blood inside the home. There was blood outside the home. So let me get to some of Brian Enton's amazing reporting as well before I give you a little bit more of what my law enforcement source has told me, especially about the prime suspect and the car that was towed. That's very, very distressing. Brian also learned about forced entry into the house, and he learned of the two alleged ransom notes. We're going to talk at length about that. One went to TMZ, one went to a local TV station in Tucson. We have thoughts. Lots of people have thoughts. The sheriff has some thoughts, apparently. But I'll talk to Brian about that in a moment, and I will read for you what those are. I'm also going to tell you this, that the sheriff was concerned enough that he put out a statement with a QR.
We are aware of reports circulating about possible ransom notes regarding the investigation to Nancy Guthrie. We are linking all tips and leads to, or taking very seriously. Anything that comes in goes directly to our detectives who are coordinating with the FBI. We encourage anyone who may have any information, share them via this code.
Okay. Let me read this. Sheriff said, we are aware of parentheses S, so a note or notes, seriously, and he was asked about, were there ransom notes? Has anybody reached out to Savannah Guthrie or her family? Who takes an 84-year-old woman? What's the point? It would seem like they'd want something. And he didn't say no. He just said the same thing that you just heard. We're looking at all leads. So they may have looked at the TMZ lead right before that press conference, and they weren't ready to say whether they thought it was legit or just some hoaxer. And maybe the Tucson TV station got one as well. As a scam artist born every day. So, by the way, very illegal, very traceable.
Good.
We'll get to that. Okay. Savannah put out
honestly, if you insert yourself in something like this and you have nothing to do with it, you should be punished. Relentlessly punished. Because what the fuck?
A post today, and the Today Show. Obviously, this is their colleague. I'm a colleague of Savannah's. I worked with Savannah for years. We've been friends for years. We've done charity events together. She's dear. She's very dear to me. And it's breaking my heart that she is down there where she grew up in Tucson, trying to find her mom. And she gave the Today Show a statement about where they stand at this point. This is how the Today Show aired it.
Chanel is in for Savannah once again, who remains with her family in Arizona.
Good morning, and that is where we begin this morning. The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, Savannah's mother, and a beloved part of our Today family. Authorities in Arizona now saying the 84-year-old appears to be the victim of an abduction.
Overnight, Savannah posting this image on Instagram. Please pray. She went on to write, "We believe in prayer. We believe in voices raised in unison, in love, in hope. We believe in goodness. We believe in humanity. Above all, we believe in Him."
She added, "Thank you for lifting your prayers with ours for our beloved mom, our dearest Nancy, a woman of deep conviction, a good and faithful servant. Raise your prayers with us and believe with us that she will be lifted by them in this very moment." She goes on to say, "We need you. Bring her home."
And obviously, Savannah's not on the Today Show. She wasn't on yesterday either. And she will not be going to Italy to do the Winter Olympics. This is huge for Savannah. This is every 4 years. It is one of the biggest assignments. The amount of prep that it takes to do the Olympics, it's weeks and weeks and weeks of work. And she is not going. And someone is going to have to take her place and get up to speed and cover for her. But how heartbreaking that is that she's not going to be able to do that. And she will not be at the Winter Olympics at all for that coverage. Helicopters showed up above Brian Enton while he was doing a live report today, above Nancy Guthrie's house. And it was the sheriff's helicopter. And there was a guy hanging out of it. And it was low. It was low enough to see him hanging out of it and looking around. And that wasn't the only emergency vehicle either. I'm going to tell you about that when I talk to Brian. It was another vehicle that was law enforcement related. And it does speak volumes to what might have happened that sent those two vehicles out, the helicopter and the pickup truck. Tell you that in a moment. First, let me tell you some devastating stuff. So my law enforcement source tells me that the back door of the Guthrie home was the door that was left wide open. Was it the point of entry? Was it the point of egress? Don't know that. But it was open, wide open, and it was in the back, not the front.
That's interesting. You guys brought up that point. So the back door is wide open, but there's blood. I'd be curious to know where the blood is in the. Thank you. You know what, Aljakat? I wasn't going to say anything about this, but I was like, if anything like this happened to me, I'd be like, I don't fucking care about anything right now. I was thinking the same thing. It was like, I think the last thing that Savannah Guthrie cares about right now is the fucking Olympics. But I would be curious to know where the blood is in the house, in relation to the front door and in relation to the back door. Because if the back door is left wide open, in my opinion, if the back door is left wide open and there's blood in the front area, I would assume that they kicked the back door open, got into some sort of altercation, and left through the front door. That would be my thought process.
Brian Enton saw blood at the front door. So did a struggle happen at the front door? Was there a doorbell rung at 2 a.m.? Why was the back door open? A lot of questions there. But the back door, according to my law enforcement source, was left wide open. I told you already, 100% blood inside the house.
Also, can anybody tell me, there allegedly there was a ransom note. Can anybody tell me why some law enforcement leak stuff to the press? Like, is that just like one guy who is doing that and shouldn't be? Or is that like, you think that's like them as a whole and the sheriff's like, go leak this out, go do this, go do that? Do you think it's more curated, I guess is what I'm asking? Because if it's not, fuck you, that you would give away like pieces of this investigation and you're not supposed to. Yeah, they said that we read about the ransom note here. Hold on. Oops. So we read about the ransom note.
My law enforcement.
Oh, no, here. And it said, where is it? Basically, they wanted they wanted Bitcoin. The Bitcoin account was real. They had a deadline and or else. But we don't know if it's true. And of course, TMZ reported on it before sending it over to the FBI. So there's that.
Source told me that police have now towed and impounded the vehicle belonging to Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie Guthrie. This is important because you've heard that the last point of contact with Nancy Guthrie was when she was dropped off by her daughter at 9:45-ish at night on Saturday night. So Annie Guthrie, and possibly her husband as well, Tommaso Cioni.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me that they would take the car. If somebody's like, "Oh, they're a suspect now," no, they're not. Okay, so if a kid is playing at my house and then goes back to his house and then is like found missing, you don't think they're all gonna come search at my house, even though if I have nothing to do with it? Like, of course they're gonna take the car. They're gonna take. She's an active missing person. They're going to try to figure out what happened. And also they have to rule out all suspects, including her own kids.
Were the last people to see her at 9:45 at night, Saturday night. Sunday morning, 11 a.m., church members reached out to the family. Hey, your mom wasn't in church. Not normal. She's always there. What's up? Family member goes over, calls family member or members, goes to the house, calls 911, and the investigation begins. But they have towed Annie Guthrie's car. And there is some connection to Annie Guthrie's car and Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law. That would be Annie's husband, Tommaso Cioni, age 50, from Tucson, Arizona.
Right.
Married.
Everybody's a suspect until they're not. But also, as you guys, we already read through this, they don't have a suspect. Now, they're going to say the son-in-law. But as of today, when the article that we read was updated, there is no suspect. They've made a comment on that. And it was like, don't spread rumors.
To Annie P. Guthrie, Savannah's sister. And my law enforcement source tells me that Tommaso Cioni is the prime suspect in this case.
Okay, so
Again.
I'm just going to, she just said that, not me. I didn't say it. What I'm going to say is what the detective said time and time again. And also, how fucking detrimental to this case if you're not supposed to let go of any of that information and then you do. Bye, Carl. And then you do. And then something happens because you can't keep anything to yourself because you want to be a law enforcement, like, yeah, the chismosa. Hold on. Where is it? Where did we talk about the, hold on. The suspects. Right here. 10:18 today. While we appreciate the public's concern, the sharing of unverified accusations or false information is irresponsible to her fucking health, like to her life.
Law enforcement source.
Also, too, with the way that the internet is and just these fucking animals that live on the internet, if this is not true, if he has nothing to do with this, you are sending millions upon millions of people to do whatever the fuck they're going to do because the internet is so weird on one person if this is not accurate. Even if it is accurate, don't go real world with people, okay? Just don't do it.
Tells me that Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law, married to Annie Guthrie, Savannah's sister, is maybe a prime suspect in this case. At the very least, let me tamp that down, because sometimes it's the first person you're looking at, not prime as in there's no one else. Okay, so let's be really mindful of that. Families are always looked at first as well. It doesn't mean right away. Listen, Ed Smart was targeted for weeks.
Oh, that's going to be the next thing that I watch, because that case has stuck with me for that exact reason, is the fact that they go just like full scorched earth on people. For example, look at that. There was one case that was going around on TikTok, and they're like, the husband did it. The husband did it. The husband did it. And then they're like, oh no, actually this woman just walked away from her car and she was by herself. The husband wasn't even anywhere near her. And I'm like, you owe this man a fucking apology. Idiots. It's irresponsible and cruel gossiping. You know what, you guys? You're going to love one of my videos coming up. You know, I feel like we're just all on the same page. We're all. If they have not named him as a suspect and released this kind of slanderous misinformation to pressure him and harm him without any facts to back it. Yeah, it's interesting that this, like, why would you say that? I don't, and that's the thing. When you have to be the first to report on something, you know, that's when you get stuff wrong. I'll be the first to admit it. I had posted a while ago. I had posted a video when I first started doing this, and it was like about the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni stuff. And I had read some of the stuff, and I had a very clear feeling about the way I was feeling about it. And then the other stuff came out, and I was like, ugh. And then I was like, well, that's what happens when you report first. So I was like, you need to pause, get your information. And if there's not enough information that makes me comfortable with it, then I need to just wait or not put it out. Like, it's not important enough to dogpile on something and then be like, oh, just kidding, let's go dogpile over here. Like, there needs to be a responsibility, like when you have platforms, I think, or at least try to. I don't know.
Without question, somebody they needed to look at. Possible suspect, right? Heartbreaking for Ed and Lois Smart, because it wasn't them who took Elizabeth, right? But that's what happens. When anything happens like this, familial abductions, the families looked at first, and Annie and or Thomas O'Cioni were the last people to see Nancy Guthrie at 9:45 at night, the night before she disappeared, abducted, kidnapped. Kidnapped was the word that the sheriff used with me. But it's very distressing to think that
That's a great point. She has an impeccable source, yet they have not named him as a suspect. So what's the source? That's a good point. That's a good point. This is a real shame, because typically I like Ashley Banfield. I don't like this. I don't like it one bit.
That this law enforcement source is telling me that Thomas O'Cioni is maybe a prime suspect in this case at this point, and that the car belonging to Annie has been towed and impounded and is in evidence. That's the word that was used with me. This law enforcement source also said to me,
I don't understand why it wouldn't be in evidence. It was the last place she was seen before she was kidnapped for her house, or from her house.
who has the motive to kidnap an 84-year-old woman?
That belongs to Savannah Guthrie? Anybody. Anybody. She's the mom of somebody famous. I mean, what's Savannah's net worth? Probably more than most people. Anybody would have a motive.
The way it was described to me is that's a burden, right? It's a burden to kidnap an 84-year-old woman with mobility issues.
I don't
needing
agree.
Medication. That is
I don't agree.
Burden.
She's an easy target. She's an easy target who is related to somebody super rich, super famous, who could get you a lot of money very quickly.
And then this law enforcement source said, so you look at people who would have a benefit to an 84-year-old woman going away, disappearing or dying. Sometimes it's somebody who has an insurance benefit from that. Sometimes it's somebody who may benefit because there's a debt. And that may be helpful. These are just musings. They are not evidence. Okay.
Well, and also too, let's say, I mean, we know Savannah's rich, right? Savannah's richer than the average person. But even if she isn't, she's got friends. You think that friends wouldn't come in and try to help her with this? Like, yeah, to ask what the motive is, you're taking a vulnerable person from somebody rich I don't think these are questions that need to be asked.
But they are musings from people I trust implicitly due to their longevity in the business of investigating this exact kind of thing. I told you already about the pacemaker information. The law enforcement sources have narrowed it down to the kidnapping happening at 2 a.m. based on the pacemaker stopping at 2 a.m. That's when they believe Nancy was taken from that house. All forms of DNA were submitted, right? But the sheriff himself said that it came back. Like, so far, the details that have come back have not pointed to a suspect, which tells them that it was likely Nancy's blood, not a suspect. Or at least nothing has come back yet to point to a suspect regarding the blood. My law enforcement source said that they will be searching every single cell phone ping, the geofencing, all the rest. This source told me that this is someone who knew where the cameras were. Somebody who was familiar with this home, this premises, this woman. They knew where the cameras were in order to smash those Nest cameras, plural. Okay.
I just gave out some memberships. Sorry, Mr. Pike. Every single time.
Okay. And as far as the TMZ ransom note, my source says that they don't believe that this is real. They think it's just troublemakers trying to insert themselves into this story. Could that change? Yes. Just want to give you a little bit of information on Thomas Oceoni.
Why?
Annie Guthrie's husband.
Why? The way? Oh my God. Ashley, I got to tell you, up until right now, everything that I've seen has been pretty good. I like your stuff. I like your video. I like your channel. This right here, oh, it agitates me. It agitates me, and let me tell you why. If my husband's mother, okay, who I'm very close to, who I love with my whole heart, goes missing, and the police have, I'm so mad right now. Okay. The police have yet to release the name of a suspect. But your source is so credible that you're coming out and you're naming this man. Okay? The way that I would be so pissed if you did the same thing to me as a daughter-in-law and had no information. And if this is not true, I have to say, right. The fact that you are moving forward and giving information on a man that you don't know has anything to do with this, 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. This, especially with the platform that you have, I believe that Ashley has a platform of probably 1 million people. Let's see. Ashley Banfield, 354,000 subscribers. This video right now in 14 hours has 1.3 million views. You are giving this man's picture and information out to the world. Ashley, you need clicks that bad? Girl. I hope for your sake, your guy is fucking solid. I hope for your sake this is a perfect lead. But even if it's not, why are you doing this? Yeah, no, that's of course hoping he's not involved. But even if he is, why are you giving out this information before law enforcement? Like, before, you don't know what the family has been told? Now imagine I'm in that scenario, right? Let's say I am involved. My husband has no idea. He's scrolling on the internet. He comes across Ashley Banfield's YouTube video and my face comes up, and that's how he finds out. Good Lord. Ashley, do better, man.
At this point, I am told again, maybe a prime suspect in this case.
Maybe a prime suspect. Yeah, it's like finding out your parents died by getting a Facebook notification. Maybe he's a prime suspect. I don't know if he's a prime suspect, but I'm going to take a gamble and put a picture of a man who has no want to be in the public eye in front of 354,000 people, a video that'll get 2 million clicks by the end of the day. And then let's say it's not him. Okay? The aftermath that will come from that, and people can, actually it is him, and the other suspect that they have isn't a real person, and it's a conspiracy with the people on the internet are weird. What are you doing? Oh my God.
He's 50, from Tucson. His bio from a website that's an Italian website, an official Italian website for the Taparulan Society, Cultural Association, the Taparulan Cultural Association, a nonprofit focused on promoting contemporary artists.
Also, if he has something to do with it, fuck this guy. I have to say that. Like, if he has something to do with the harm of this elderly lady that he knows and trusts her, she trusts him, fuck this guy. But also, why is it so important for you to do it and not allow law enforcement to do it? I find this as such a lack of professionalism.
His bio says, I was born in San Giovanni, Valderno on June 18th, 1975. Since 2006, I have lived in Tucson, Arizona. I write when I have the chance. I study lizards. I play the electric bass. I make homemade pasta. LinkedIn reports that Tommaso Cioni is a teacher at...
That's another great point. If he has something to do with it, that is for police to deal with. This is gross. Even if her source is right, why leak that to internet media? Can the family have a fucking moment? Also, imagine how fucking devastating that would be to Savannah, how devastating that would be to their sister to find out that your husband did this to your mom. Holy shit. She just said where he teaches. Is she I don't want to play it again. But is she actively fucking doxing this man? The louder your voice, the greater your responsibility. I agree. I don't understand this. I have to tell you, even if I had a law enforcement, like, unless law enforcement was actively telling me to put something out, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to take something from the case and be like, ooh, but I have an informant. This is 72 hours old.
Oasis Oro Valley School from 2007 until present. Says he's a primary instructor for 6th grade.
Now also, imagine if this man, and yes, she is saying that he teaches here. Now, if this man has nothing to do with it, imagine the parents pulling their kids out. He's gonna lose his fucking job. He's gonna lose, all of this stuff. Again, if he did have something to do with it, fuck him. But also, like, if he didn't, and that's the thing with the internet. Some people will do this and then they don't go back and they're like, sorry, I reported on you. Sorry, you'll never get your job back. Sorry, people fucking hate you. Sorry. You can't, this shit is already out of the horse.
Science and AP Biology. Reverb Nation, that's a music website, says that he put out an album with a 3-man music group called Early Black. Music is apparently available, but that's all I know about Annie Guthrie's husband, who, again, one law enforcement source, very connected, highly regarded, impeccable credentials, knowledge of this investigation, says that Tommaso Cioni, Annie P. Guthrie's husband, maybe the prime suspect in this case. And
Maybe. The fact that you keep saying maybe and you just showed his face, his age, his name, where he works, where he fucking lives. God. Maybe. The woman is still missing. If she is wrong, is she not providing them comfort and security? I don't understand. Wait, what? The way this is worded, the way I'm going to answer, if she's wrong, is she not providing them with comfort and security? No. Wait, I'm confused. Because how is that comfort and security if she's saying that their son-in-law did it, even if she is wrong? Like, that's just making a bigger mess, in my opinion. No? The real kidnappers may not at all be associated with him. Right. Sure. But I also don't understand how saying that the son-in-law, your daughter's husband, or, you know, whatever, brings any sort of, that just adds more to what these people are going through. And I mean,
vehicle has been towed, impounded, and is now in evidence. Very distressing.
oh, I see what you're saying. All right. This is a different way to look at it. If you misidentify, you provide the true criminals with cover. Right. So that's a really interesting point. Okay, so how this could be a benefit is that if they know who the real kidnappers are and then they give somebody else through like leaked media, right? And then like that helps save Nancy. But at the same time, with the way the internet is, you're then putting this man at risk for whatever the fuck. But that's a good point. Comfort and security for the people that actually took her, since everyone will be looking the other way. Yeah. Conspiracy theory, do you think it could be on purpose? I mean, I'm not above thinking that people would do that. It's an interesting point.
So Brian Enton is with me from News Nation. He's been doing some incredible work since landing on the ground in Tucson. Brian, you have done, again, some outstanding reporting out in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. When the crime scene was turned over to the family, you found a blood trail.
Yeah, we did. And I was kind of surprised, Ashley, that it was not a crime scene anymore. I don't know why. I just expected that they would still have some tape outside. Or, you know, when you cover these things, they'll have like one police car that stays behind. Everybody left. I mean, it was just empty, except there were some, what I thought were family members coming and going today. I don't know who they were. So we decided, like, let's just go knock on the door and see if anybody is home, you know, just to kind of see what's going on, since it's not a crime scene. It's all open back up. And so walking up to the front door, you could.
I also have to tell you, though, even if he did do it, even if he has something to do with it, I do find this kind of reporting irresponsible for the family. Because as this may be right? Let's say he is the person who did it. She had it right. You don't know what the family knows. You don't know what the police have said to the family. And I still think this is just like wildly irresponsible. No matter how you cut it.
See that there.
I mean, to say that they have a suspect, you know, somebody that the mom might know, I guess, is one thing. But to put all his information out there, I don't like it.
Was blood right outside the front door on the ground, like on the stoop right there, right near the front mat going in. Just, you know, not a ton of blood, but it was definitely blood. It was all right there. And then when you looked up, you could see where the camera was, right by, like, almost like where it looked like a doorbell, but it was a camera, and the camera was gone.
Well, and my information from my source is that those cameras were smashed, not just the front one. There was a second one. Whoever did this knew there were two, smashed them. So presumably the fact that you saw that they're gone means that the police took them for evidence.
Yeah, well, what's interesting though is when I asked the sheriff, I was at the press conference and I asked the sheriff, we noticed that the camera is gone in the front. Do you think the perpetrator took the camera? He said, we noticed that too, and all of that is under investigation. So it was kind of strange. Like, I don't, kn- he didn't give me an answer. Like, was it the perpetrator who took the camera? Was it the police who took the camera? But he acknowledged that they also noticed that the camera was gone.
I think he's having.
I think it's so interesting that these two people who have been doing this for a long time are acting like it's surprising that the police didn't say anything. Like, this is an active investigation, and it's different in the way that the victim is not deceased. Like, they don't know that the victim is deceased. An active investigation, when you have somebody who is alive, needs to be treated with a different care than if the victim is already dead. If the victim is already dead, you need to find out who did it. If the victim is alive, you need to do whatever you can to not put her in a place that you don't want her to be, but also like just, piss anybody off. You want to try to find her and the perpetrators. I have a problem. Like, we're all acting like we're new to this. Of course, they're not going to give you information. An older lady is missing. I want to know. That's a question I'm going to look into, though. Like, why would law enforcement? That's not true. I know why law enforcement would leak stuff to. There has been cases where law enforcement would leak stuff to the media just because. I don't know. I'm struggling with this right now a lot.
Answer in real time to investigative information and evidence that he doesn't want out there, probably. And having to tap dance in front of live cameras, which is really hard. I mean, this is a small place. Tucson has barely had massive crime. I think one of the biggest things was Gabby Giffords, like 15, 20 years ago. So this is a lot. This is a big crime for them to process, and the media attention is sort of stifling. It's really, really hard. Let's just talk a little bit about that blood trail a little bit before we go more into the cameras. But you find the blood trail at the front door. The front door is closed. At least it is now. My law enforcement source has told me the back door was wide open, which sort of gives you just so many questions. Is that where the perpetrator came in? Is that where the perpetrator went out with Mrs. Guthrie? Did Mrs. Guthrie answer the front door at 2 a.m. and there was a pitched fight and that's why the blood is there? Because I think you mentioned the blood doesn't go further out along the stones to the driveway.
Yeah, that's right. We looked and it was just in that area near the door. It's not like there were droplets that went out to where the driveway is or
Oh, that's interesting that they're only by the door.
even in the driveway, which made me think, I mean, did they take Miss Guthrie out the front? And like you said, the back door being open, maybe they came in the back and took her out the front and into a car. And maybe that's why the blood just stopped right there. We just don't know.
I will tell you this in my half-hour-long conversation with the sheriff last night. I said, so you think that perhaps when you say Mrs. Guthrie was taken out of that home, she did not walk out of that home, are you telling me she was carried over the threshold of the front door? And he said, I did not say the front door. So that was a clue to me. Wait, okay, not the front door. And then I learned today that the back door is open. So I am very curious. There were some erroneous reports about Mrs. Guthrie was dragged from her bed. The sheriff actually put out a statement saying that is not what I said. So we, at this point, the sheriff was walking back anybody who reported she was dragged from her bed. We don't know if the bedroom was, the epicenter of this crime yet. We don't know if there's ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, and Mrs. Guthrie comes down at 2 a.m. What's going on? And something happens at the front. But why then would the back door be wide open? It's very, very confounding. Why would the blood be in the front, but the back door is open? Or did they, like you said, come in the back door, go up to the bedroom, but then take her out the front?
Yeah, and I'm just looking behind me because there's more cars in the driveway now. Step out of the way. You see that white Volvo, and then there's a truck. I think I think they've maybe brought security people in to just kind of keep an eye on the house. But one thing that you don't know until you're here, I didn't realize, is this isn't like a normal neighborhood, Ashley. It's right in the foothills. Every house is, I would say, is on at least an acre, maybe 2, 3, or 4 acres. They're almost like little ranches. And it's pitch. I mean, we've got our lights on for,
Mm-hmm.
because we're doing our camera work, but it's pitch black out here. There is not one light out here. And it's a ways to the next house. So I'm just thinking if they came in through the back door, to take her out the back door, though, it's not like there'd be a little alley back there. I mean, there's like cactus. This is not, it's like kind of wild.
Well, and also the blood, I'm thinking, like, if they did take her out the back door, right? She opens the front door, they get her, and the blood. I mean, they could have knocked her out, too. Doesn't mean that she has to be deceased, but she could be unconscious.
And out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But whoever smashed the cameras maybe thought it would be an easier way to get in the back door to smash a camera without being seen, go in the back and then maybe smash the front camera from the inside of the house coming out. Who knows? I mean, but whoever it was, my law enforcement source said they knew there were those cameras and where they were in order to smash them. We're getting to that in a bit, but helicopters overhead while you were doing your live shot earlier today. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, there was a sheriff helicopter that got very, very low over the house with two men looking out and down. And my first thought was like, oh, sometimes they'll just
I wonder if they've had dogs out, too.
kind of come by to come look real quick and then they'll leave. But they stayed for over an hour over the
Wow.
house and then across the street. And then in like kind of, again, it's almost like fields out here, but with a lot of cactuses in the vicinity of the house, very low looking around. And then we saw a search and rescue truck out here, which we hadn't seen all day.
I love the way she turns the sheriff's refusal to answer her questions into answers. He is carefully leaving what he is unsure of open to be determined, and she is closing the options. I agree with that. Just because he didn't say the front door doesn't mean that it wasn't the front door. I'm not law enforcement, and I figured out that somebody knew to do what? I am not in law enforcement, and I figured out that somebody that knew to do that was familiar with the property. I still think, oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know if there was kind of like, hey, we left some stone unturned and we just want to go back out and look one more time, or if there was a specific tip that came in, something specific that they were looking for. But it was very clear that they were looking for something. Because again, at first I thought like, oh, the helicopter's doing a pass. The sheriff's office just wants to show that they're keeping an eye on the area. But no, they were searching for something.
Yeah, and I think Jennifer Coffendorfer mentioned they might have gotten.
So I'm going to put this live in our Discord. It's the live update on USA Today. They just updated again. Trump called Savannah Guthrie about her mother at the end of the afternoon. President Trump has spoke to Savannah Guthrie over the phone. Why is this an update? Okay. I'm going to put this in the true crime chat. The thing that I like about it is they have live updates and they tell you the time of them. So that's going to be in the Discord chat right now.
Called a tip, and they were out trying to find whatever it was they thought might be within the vicinity of the house. Or maybe they thought whoever took her couldn't manage for too long. And maybe there was something in the wilds. Like you said, it's pretty rural out there. The other thing that's upsetting, and I don't want to think this, is that...
You know what's interesting is this is News Nation, okay? News Nation is who Brian Enton works for. No suspect in search for Savannah Guthrie's mother. Sheriff. When was this? Where's the date on this? Right now. Updated. February 4th, 2026. 12:23. Right now. Well, not right now, but 2 hours ago. Okay? At this point, investigators have not identified a suspect or person of interest in this case. Detectives are working closely with the Guthrie family. Police have discovered suspicious circumstances at the residence and have designated it a crime scene. She didn't just walk out. Blood trail. Let's see. Ransom note. pacemaker. A reward of up to $2,500 has been offered for information leading to an arrest in Guthrie's disappearance. But still, even today, it says, right now, February 4th, 2026, 12:23 Central Time. Dude. That's irresponsible. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You know, if you're going to leave a body somewhere, there are so many wild animals in that area at night. It's very, very hard to keep the integrity of a potential body, if there is one, you know, intact for a long time with all the wildlife. And let's hope that that's not the situation.
Hi, Peachtree.
The ransom notes. Let's talk a little bit about that. One to TMZ that was detailed about what she was wearing, details inside the house, and then asking for Bitcoin. And another one to a local TV station. Let me see which one it is. I think it's KOLD TV in Tucson. KOLD, yeah. My law enforcement source says he's not putting a lot of stock in that. There's a lot of crazies out there that want to insert themselves. But what are you hearing from where you are?
Yeah, so you mentioned with the TMZ note, we learned that in the note there were some specifics about what Nancy was wearing and then specifics about the inside of the house, but we don't know if those are true. I mean, like that was just coming from TMZ. We don't know if it actually, is going to check out with what she was actually wearing.
Yeah, like TMZ got it. Like TMZ
Right.
got that.
And it was
It's
an
just
email,
that
by the way.
in an email, right?
In
exactly.
an email? Oh my God. These idiots are sending them in emails?
Yeah.
But is it just some lunatic who's going to be traced to charged? That, and also the sheriff said that they don't know what she was wearing. So how could
Correct.
anyway? That's part of the idea here is that emails can be traced.
Yeah, they can be traced. I don't know. I think the whole thing is a little weird. Like, why would the kidnapper reach out to TMZ? And then I noticed that TMZ, Harvey Levin was saying they were having a hard time getting in touch with the sheriff initially, which I just found to be kind of strange if the sheriff was taking it that seriously. But the sheriff's office did put out a statement later acknowledging these and saying that they were investigating. Yeah, there it is. And when I was at the press conference earlier, we asked, have there been any ransom notes? And I thought it was interesting. Again, the sheriff didn't answer the question. He just said, we're looking into every. And yesterday, he was much more open, Ashley. I mean, you had him on your podcast. He was all over the place. He was answering every question. He was kind of like hard to follow it sometimes. I'm like, he was talking about his gut feeling about things. And I'm like, is it really what he's saying actually factor? Anyway, but today he was much, much more careful.
Yeah. And obviously, like I said before, they're a little bit new at this. I mean, they don't get this kind of stuff going on in this rural area in Pima County. But, upsetting just to think that somebody, if it's true, may be trying to insert themselves. Let's get to some of the other breaking stuff that my source told me that's just kind of blood curdling, that they did indeed find blood inside the house. You found the blood outside the house. The confirmation from my law enforcement sources that there was blood in.
Can this woman just be? Here's another article. Nancy Guthrie is the aunt of Jimmy Eat World drummer's wife. How about she's Nancy Guthrie, woman who's missing at 84 years old? Like, why do they? This is so weird.
Inside the house as well. And that they have towed Annie Guthrie's car. Annie Guthrie being Savannah Guthrie's sister and the last person to have dropped Mrs. Guthrie off at 9:45 the night before, but that they have towed and impounded her car into evidence. That is sort of the ground shook when I learned that.
Oh, interesting.
This is why you get menopause.
Yeah, I know nothing about this area. I've been to Arizona once, and this was not it.
That's interesting because we had heard that the FBI was at the sister's house, the Savannah sister's house.
Of course they
tonight.
were. Of course.
I hadn't heard the towing of the car, and I just kind of assumed like they were over there talking to them, trying to get more information about, what was going on in Nancy's life in the days up to this. But yeah, the towing of the car, I'm trying to sort of wrap my mind around the reasons that they may have done that.
I mean, I guess I can understand. I'm trying to think of all the reasons why it's not a big deal. And
right.
It's the last person to have seen Nancy Guthrie.
Nancy Guthrie has no cognitive issues, but has very limited mobility, and she does take daily medications. Nancy Guthrie has high blood pressure, cardiac issues, and she uses a pacemaker, according to People, which obtained audio dispatch recordings from Pima County Sheriff's Office.
Law enforcement source says, who takes an 84-year-old woman with limited mobility? It's a burden for the kidnapper to do so unless someone has a vested interest in gaining something from it, like insurance benefits or a family debt that needs paid off, anything like that. This was just the musings, not the evidence of this investigator. But the other sort of earth-shattering information that this source told me is that Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law, Annie's husband, Tommaso Cioni, is now maybe considered prime suspect in this case.
Wow. Yeah. So I haven't heard the most, like I said, the most I.
So he said, I haven't heard about that on this live stream, which was yesterday. And then his News Nation, which is who he works for, updated it and was like, yeah, there's no suspects.
Heard was that the FBI was at their house earlier today.
Hi,
I
cat
haven't
lady.
heard that at all. I don't know much about them. I mean, I think they were the last ones with her, right? On Friday night.
Two
so,
reports,
I mean,
that Annie dropped her off or that Annie and Tommaso dropped her off. It's a little unclear, but this law enforcement source specifically pointed to her car being towed, impounded, and in evidence, and the son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, age 50, may be the prime suspect in the case.
There's a lot
and it
of
would
maybes.
make sense even if they hopefully did absolutely nothing wrong and this is their mom and it's like makes your heart hurt. I mean, I feel terrible for everyone in the family, but it would make sense that they don't want to leave any stone unturned. So even if investigators are thinking like, we don't think these people had anything to do with it.
Oh, damn. Look at this. TMZ. Look at this. It's got her. February 4th, 2026. 4:42 a.m. The police are fucking pissed. Look at this. No suspects. 6:55 a.m. No suspects have been identified in the ongoing investigation to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And then they have a picture of fucking Ashley Banfield. Oh my God. The T, girl. The T. We have not identified a suspect or person. In this case, detectives continue to speak with anyone who may have had contact with Mrs. Guthrie. We are also awaiting additional forensic results. They add, we are not confirming the car being seized. We are unsure where that reporter is getting that information. Ooh, Ashley, girl, you in trouble. Wow. There is a potentially new stunning twist in the kidnapping of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, as Ashley Banfield report claiming her son-in-law might be a suspect. Banfield, an independent journalist and former News Nation host, reported Tuesday night a law enforcement source told her that Tommaso Cioni has been identified by police as a suspect in the case. Cioni is married to Savannah's sister, Annie, and we know that she was the last person to see Nancy on Saturday night when they reportedly had dinner together. It's unclear if Cioni was also at dinner. As you know, Nancy's family called police Sunday after they got word she didn't show up to her regular Sunday church service. Now, Banfield reports investigators have towed Annie's car, which has some connection to the 50-year-old Cioni. Banfield adds that all cameras at Nancy's Tucson, Arizona home were smashed. Tuesday, News Nation published a video showing a trail of blood outside the front steps of Nancy's house. The Los Angeles Times reported Nancy's blood was found at the crime scene. TMZ was sent an alleged ransom note from an unknown person or persons who demanded payment in exchange for Nancy's release. Police say Nancy was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night. Sometime between Saturday night and Sunday morning, investigators are working to find Nancy, believing time is of the essence. She's 84 in poor health and without her daily medication. We reached out to Cioni for comment. So far, no word back. We also reached out to the Pima County's Sheriff's Department. A rep wouldn't confirm Banfield's report. 148 comments. Let's go. Let's go. Holy shit. This has a very inside vibe, like the John Benet Ramsey case. Oh, God. Come on, guys. Kidnapping an 84-year-old woman with medical and memory issues is sick. That poor woman must be beyond terrified. In this modern technological day and age, it boggles the mind that they do not have more to go on or haven't already found her. Ugh. Wow. Look at, there it is. And then there's her picture. Whoop.
One law enforcement source, very connected, highly regarded, impeccable credentials, knowledge of this investigation, says that Tommaso Cioni, Annie P. Guthrie's husband, may be the prime suspect in this case, and Annie's vehicle has been towed, impounded, and is now in evidence. At the very least, let me tamp that down, because sometimes it's the first person you're looking at, not prime as in there's no one else. Okay, so let's be really mindful of that. Families are always looked at first as well. I can tell you that.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, I'm out. Ashley, why would you do that? Oh my God. For credibility issues, for credibility reasons, for fucking respect reasons, for the family, for respect reasons, for this man, if he had nothing to do with it. Oh my God. And she gets out there, and the fact that this is out there, and oh God. And nobody in the comments is like, actually, Ashley. Oh, here. The sheriff says there's no suspect and there's no person of interest. That's what I read too. Which is it, Ashley? Just asking. Sheriff lies. He has to, or the Nancy Graces of the world will ruin their investigation. Whatever, if the sheriff lies. But also, she shouldn't be putting out information before the fucking police does. Right. Throw the whole video away. Because here's the other thing. Like, just throw the whole video away. Dude, if he has nothing to do with this, if this was me and I truly had nothing to do with it and she put me out on a platform that big, it would be my life's goal to take that platform. Like, oh my God. Here's somebody else. This seems incredibly premature. The fact that a family member, see, and here's the problem, right? Because then there's stuff like this. Wait, no, where did it go? No. I want to read the comments. Look it. There are going to be people like this out here who just take your word as fact. The fact that a family member is a prime suspect in this case is the least stunning thing ever. That's what I said. Okay. Why is it the church reports are missing? Why didn't the person who picks her up to take her to church call her to go? She drives by herself. She has a car. But see, people are so weird. How could there not be a suspect when they confiscated the sister's car? Because it's an active crime scene? Because it's where she was last? Then you have people who just don't know how the law works. I've been concerned it could be a family member. Oh my God. I was a news reporter for years. As soon as I heard of this, I told a friend it was a family member who did that. Awful. And let me just say this before I get out of here, okay? This kind of reporting is detrimental to the case both ways you look at it, okay? If this man is innocent, you are just having people dogpile on the internet and maybe go real life on something that is not real. And then these weirdos on the internet who go fucking real life, let's say she walks it back or it has nothing to do with him. There's going to be people on the internet who get these weird fucking conspiracy theories. And now you've opened that can of worms for this man to lose his job, to have this man, his life ruined because you had to get the views and clicks. Now let's go on the other side of this, okay? Let's say he is a part of this. It was so important for you to get the views and the clicks to report on this before the police did that it's possibly your video, which is your friend, Savannah Guthrie, which is where she finds out that her brother-in-law was the fucking suspect and did this to her mom. Ma'am, what? Or maybe she was alive and well. And you're like, I have this source and it's the brother-in-law. And he's like, well, plan's fucking foiled. Now I got to kill the mom. No matter which way you slice it, this was fucking irresponsible. Wow. Now, part of the story has to be denying that this man is the suspect to keep the case workable. This could cause reasonable doubt with the actual trial if he's not involved. I wonder what Brian thinks about being attached to it now. I wouldn't want any part of that. I wouldn't want any part of that. Walkbacks never get as many views as the original. Wow. But again, even if it's not a walkback, even if it is true, the damage that you're doing to the family, because also, what a mind fuck, right? Like, think about it. Your mom is killed by your brother-in-law. Okay? That's hard enough as is. And then you have some internet reporter who's like, check this out, guys. I got it. You heard it here first. And also, this woman claims to be your friend. I would be like, bro, I hope she fucking called Savannah Guthrie with this information. I hope she called her up and was like, beep, boop, boop. Hey, Savannah, guess what? They said it was your fucking brother-in-law. And if Savannah's like, yeah, I know. They told me. I still wouldn't put it online. Unless like Savannah told me herself to do it. I'm still not putting it out there. Okay. Well, that was a bit of a turn of events, friends. And you can't report this case as if it's just a report of another case. Every case is new and has to be investigated by the new facts it presents. Right. But also, this case is so different than a regular like murder investigation because we don't know if she's gone yet. Does nobody have any care that this woman might still be fucking alive? Ashley, I have to say I'm disappointed in you. I actually really liked you before this whole interaction. Not interaction, because we didn't really talk. I hope that you come out and acknowledge this. And if you're wrong, boy, I hope you apologize, girl. Because the fuck. And if you're right, I hope you apologize too. Because what a shitty thing to do. She's alive until there is proof otherwise. Right. Okay. Well, with that being said, if you're not subscribed, please do so. We have channel memberships. We have Discord for members only. Live streams on Wednesday. Members only live streams on Friday. Long form videos for members on Thursday. Long form videos for everybody else on Sunday. This week, it's going to be about you guys' favorite, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Ooh, ooh! We know we get the girlies mad in the comments. Goodbye, all. I need to go calm down because I'm so mad. Bye.